and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Phil went to The View and he left some facts.
Like 08, 09, smartphones came on and kids they stopped living their lives and started watching people live their lives. And so we saw the biggest spike and the highest levels of depression, anxiety, loneliness, and suicidality since records have ever been kept. And it's just continued on and on and on. And then COVID hits 10 years later, and the same agencies that knew that are the agencies that shut down the schools for 2 years. Who does that? Who takes away the support system for these children? Who takes them away and shuts it down? And by the way, when they shut it down, they stopped the mandated reporters from being able to see children that were being abused and sexually molested, and in fact sent them home and abandoned them to their abusers with no way to watch, and referrals dropped 50 to 60%. So
there was also a pandemic going on, and they were trying to save
kids' lives. Remember, we know a lot of folks who died during this, so it wasn't, people weren't laying around eating bond, but, well, you know what, we're lucky.
I wish you could say that in person to the kids and the ladies that were getting abused.
Maybe we're lucky they didn't, because we kept them out of the places that they could be sick, because no one wanted to believe we had an issue.
Are you saying no school children died of COVID?
I'm saying it was the safest group. They were the less vulnerable group, and they suffered and will suffer more from the mismanagement of COVID than they will from the exposure to COVID. And that's not an opinion, that's a fact.
Well, Phil?
But don't worry, Dr. Phil got more.
I talked to the head of all the border guards down there, the head of the union. I asked him straight up, kids are coming over the border with numbers written on them, phone numbers and addresses. Do we check those out? He said, well, we call them. Is it possible that we're sending them into known prostitution rings or sweatshops? He said, it's not possible, it is absolute. We are using American tax dollars to ship children into known prostitution and sweatshops.
Some children?
Well, who knows?
Okay.
We don't know. I said, are you...
So what kind of checking do they do? So
They call the number and say, do you know about this child? They say, yes. Will you receive them when they come? Yes. I said, is it possible that that's a prostitution ring? He said, we know enough to know that in a number of cases, it has turned out to be absolute sex ring. It has turned out to be an absolute sweatshop. I said, how is this possible?
Well, what do they do?
And he said, it is happening.
What do they do then if they know that that's happening? Where is the U.S. Attorney's Office? Where is the...
Here's the
good question,
you have to re-ask that question when we come back, because we're coming back with more.
Wait. We got sponsored. We'll be right back. I remember there was some weird rapid thing to do blood tests with the kids that are coming with the people, that people can say, hey man, at least you guys have the same blood type, so it should be okay. Guess what? Biden removed it, because Biden is like, we just need all these illegal immigrants. I don't care where they're coming from. I don't care if it's an uncle or not. Amen. Just come over here. It's freaking safe.
These children that are coming in with someone that says, I'm their mother, aunt, uncle, or whatever, we have no way of verifying that.
We do not. We used to. Under President Trump, we had rapid DNA testing. That's been done away with.
Are they given money to these people that are released into the country?
So it's our taxpayers that ultimately facilitate the travel. But yes, travel is facilitated and they are given all the necessities that they need.
But that could be a trafficker.
There's a very good possibility that they're being trafficked, that they're going into the sex industry, or they're being forced into the sweatshops.
And we know that. We knowingly are spending our tax dollars to sell children into sex trafficking. How under any theory is that okay for us to be spending tax dollars to traffic children? Holy shit. Now, this is the head guy on the border. And I asked him when this went on a little more, we went in more depth. You know you're on camera here, right? You just said we're spending tax dollars to sell children into sex slavery. And he said, yeah. I said, why have you not talked about this? He said, nobody's ever asked me these pointed questions, but I'm grateful that you're asking them now. That's how out of control we are down there. We are paying money to take these children and sell them into sex slavery. They come in with these addresses written on their bodies, written on their arm, and we call up there and say, do you know so-and-so? Yes, we're waiting for them. Okay, they'll be on a plane or a bus, and you need to pick them up. And I asked him, so some pimp or trafficker or whatever is picking them up there, and he said, we are knowingly sending them up there for that. And he said, it's terrible, but that's what's happening.
That's insane. That is insane. And there's no way of verifying if it's their parents they're going to or an aunt they're going to. There's no way of verifying it. And
I asked him, he said no.
Now, what justification could possibly exist where they would stop doing the rapid DNA test? What possible justification would there be to stop that?
It makes no sense, because if they find out, well, this isn't their parent, then, okay, what are they going to do with the child? And so
right.
I guess don't ask, and then you don't have the responsibility. But they're sending these children up there, and he's saying we're knowingly sending them into either a sweatshop or the sex industry up there.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is enough clip to kind of ruin your day, to make you realize what people are normalizing. If you know people from those countries, they actually believe they have to do everything they can to have a better life. And it would surprise you how far people would go to have a better life. All I have to say is this. This is disgusting, and everybody that wants to promote this coming over as if it's freaking safe is delusional.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Put a fire na mi blonde, kush hash, purple skunk, criollo, colombici, jam, turloqueta, verdeta, welcome.